So today I'm doing a sitting video and I'm going to teach you a technique to get baby or little one sitting. So Kiro here is learning to sit for the first time, so it's a perfect time to show this technique. And this is also absolutely perfect for anyone, any babies or young children or toddlers with a gross developmental delay. So children who are maybe 2, 3 and not sitting. You can do it at any age. In fact, I've done it with children even much older. And what we are doing here is we are making sitting functional. So we are allowing baby or little one to make mistakes. We're allowing them to fall and we are making them want to sit. So what we're going to do is use a big stable toy. So I've got this one, it's got a nice wide base, it's not going to fall over. You can get like giant spinning tops, which are really useful. And another thing I've used is like a giant, I don't know how many litres, a very big bottle of water filled with tap water and things like sequins, glitter and food colouring. That was really good, nice and heavy, nice and stable, almost for them to hold on to a little bit. Something really engaging, really exciting, but not too fiddly fine motor skills. Otherwise they won't be able to work on their trunk. We don't want them to be multitasking a lot. We just want them to have something to kind of grip, look at and entertain them, and not something that requires a lot of concentration. So we've been doing this a little while, so you might be a little bit tired. I'm going to catch him right at the bottom when he's fallen. Ideally you want something nice, soft and padded, so baby can actually just practice sitting on their own and fall once they're doing it for a bit longer, maybe a few minutes. But to start with, you want to catch them as far as they are comfortable. So some babies obviously won't like falling. It's very new to them, especially sitting. That's like the first real experience they have of falling is sitting. So if your baby doesn't like falling, then what you're going to do is catch them about here and bring them back up and gradually increase that distance to catching them a little bit further, closer to the floor, closer to the floor. And once they build up that trust and they've done it enough times to realise you are going to catch them and they're not going to hurt themselves, then they will be comfortable with them falling a little bit further and a little bit further. Now we're doing this to teach them gravity. We're teaching them to contract their muscles, to put their hand out when they fall that way, put that hand out when they fall that way, and we're teaching them to maintain their centre of gravity. If I'm constantly holding Kiro here, or if I'm constantly just pushing him a bit when he goes that way, pushing him a bit that way, pushing him a bit this way, he's never going to learn. What I'm teaching him is, you lean wherever you want and I'm going to support you. That's the message I'm giving him. But what I actually want to teach him is, this is what gravity does, this is what happens when you go that way, and we're going to fall over. That is life and that's what happens. And I also do this with much older children off of a therapy bench as well to get them sitting for the first time. And again, we just put lots of cushions out, pad it out, and let them fall backwards. Now some children, especially with different syndromes and developmental delays and some kind of sensory issues, they actually really enjoy falling, especially when you put lots and lots of cushions out. So that's why it's very, very important to make the sitting activity very, very, very engaging and motivating and exciting, and then let them fall, make a big deal out of it, and then also almost make it a little bit inconvenient when they've fallen. Uh-oh, the toy's now gone, it's out of our reach. Let's quickly get you back up, back into sitting, and yes, the toy starts. If your child cannot play with a toy or is not motivated by toys, maybe they are deaf or blind, you can do singing instead. So whatever they're motivated by, I find a lot of the time, especially with blind or deaf children, that singing to the beat of some kind of vibration on their lap or on their some kind of touch, something like that, or even to like a maraca or a shaker that they can feel. Singing to the beat of that is something that they really like, so you can do that during sitting. And then when they fall, uh-oh, we've come down and we've stopped, we stop all the singing, we come back up and we start it all again. We want to make sitting functional, motivating and enjoyable for them to do. So Kiro here is learning to sit for the first time. He can't really sit for anything longer than maybe a second right now. So I'm going to place this toy in between his legs. He's actually not interested at all. I'm going to come back and he doesn't mind falling all the way to the floor because we've done it a few times. Uh-oh, a little bit of sick as well. And we're going to come up. You are supposed to be playing with this toy, not your bib. Do you know that? this toy right here, that's it. And I'm going to, as quickly as I can, let go. Uh-oh. And we're up. The more you touch them when they're sitting, the more they will lean into you and the more you will not be able to let go, especially those children with low muscle tone. So things like Rett Syndrome, hypotonia with cerebral palsy, some very premature babies, some children with Down syndrome have very low tone, all those sorts of things. And I'm sure you're very aware of it. With some conditions, you touch your baby anywhere or your child and they will lean into you and lean into you, so you can't possibly let go. So that's why you want to take away the support as quickly as you possibly can. I'm going to be pushing him forwards a little bit. Might have to take this bib off. Make sure he's got his centre of gravity before I let go, but I'm not going to be too finicky about it because he is moving a lot anyway. And and come up. Now you can tell that the problem here is that Kiro is actually not interested. Not interested in this toy whatsoever. So it's not the most challenging, it's not the most motivating environment for him. So instead we're going to start some singing. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long. The wipers on the and we've fallen. And I'm quickly going to get him into sitting again. The wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish. And we're down. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. And we're down. Now you get the point. I won't bore you with my singing anymore. Now I've taught children to sit using that technique and it feels weird and sometimes parents think, what am I doing? But it gets results very, very, very quickly. And particularly, I remember off the top of my head, one little boy with Pitt Hopkins syndrome. He learned to sit in one session, maybe half an hour of doing that. And it was singing and then stopping. Singing, stopping, singing, stopping. First time he sat for maybe 1 second, then 1 second, then 1 second, then 2, then 5, then 10. And by the end of it, he could sit for a good few minutes. And children with some conditions as well, they just, including his situation, he actually just wasn't sitting because of, he just didn't want to. He had the strength, but he just didn't find it functional, and he was low tone, and lying down when you have low tone is a much easier position to be in than sitting, so why on earth would he sit? So sometimes it is just because they don't want to, and for those kinds of children, very similar to like Angelman syndrome as well, these kids sometimes are actually very strong. They don't particularly have too much low tone or weakness. Obviously everyone is different, sometimes they do, but those children, they sometimes don't sit just because they don't see the purpose. They've never sat on their own, so like why would they do it? And it's hard work trying to move your muscles against gravity, and that technique, that singing and that very, very repetitive, this happens when you're up, it stops when you're down. It happens when you're up, it stops when you're down. On repeat, really, really works for those children. And you feel so weird and so silly doing it, but it really, really, really works. I promise it does. So anyway, give this a try. Let me know what you think. And any questions, just let me know in the comments or on our website. You can fill in a form there. I hope you find it useful. Bye-bye.